Now, with that covenant formed, I believe there's nothing left to do but get our first reader out. Y'all ready for your fourth story? Fourth story? All right. First up, their forced story. Thank you. Y'all don't miss a trick. Reading Secrets of the Formerly Religious. It's Frances Nguyen.
Hello. Oh, okay. Secrets of the Formerly Religious by Anonymous. I grew up very religious. Very religious as in I wore a purity ring and was a proud virgin all through high school. I lost my virginity at 20, but there had been so much guilt and shame around any sexual desires and actions that I didn't really become comfortable with my sexuality until my 30s. Which leads me to the internet. It's really wild that no one on any dating app has been vetted. But on the plus side, there is a lid for every pot, and you can always find someone else with your particular flavor of trauma. For me, there's nothing hotter than someone with religious trauma. I mean, I once went on a second date with someone just because on the first date, they mentioned that they had been part of a doomsday cult for 10 years, and I needed to unpack that a bit more. Understanding what it was like to grow up religious is a big part of understanding why I am the way I am. So I feel uniquely understood by others who grew up in high-control religions but are no longer a part of them. This story begins, like all modern love stories, on a first date with a guy from Bumble. We already had amazing chemistry, and then he mentioned that he just so happened to also be an excommunicated Mormon priest. Okay, I'm dripping wet. I wasn't supposed to have sex that night, not for Jesus reasons, but because I had gotten a new IUD and was supposed to heal before having sex. So we played a 10-hour game of just the tip, like only two formerly religious freaks could, and it was hot as fuck. We hibernated in our lust cocoon that whole weekend, so it was only the next day that I discovered he fancied himself a bit of a poor man's Christian Grey, as in the guy from 50 Shades of Grey, who enjoys tying ladies up and whipping them. During sex, he bit me so hard that I screamed and refused to continue. There were teeth marks and a bruise there for a week. The only reason Christian Grey could get away with what he did was because he was rich and bought Anastasia a car and a laptop and paid her rent. This middle-aged former Mormon was hot, but he was not bringing any riches to the table. Other than the biting incident, he didn't actually want to hurt me, but he wanted control. He wanted me to call him sir in the bedroom and ask his permission before I did anything, including orgasm. Look, I'm not ordinarily a very docile, compliant lady, but the control thing sometimes worked in my favor. Like one time, he blindfolded me and spent an entire afternoon learning my body and different ways to pleasure me. Like, go on, sir. We were both into perverting religion and using it in the bedroom. That's religious trauma for you. My Catholic mother buys me lots of saint candles, both as a guardian angel thing and as emergency candles to have for hurricanes or power outages. He found the stash in my pantry and insisted on using a Lady of Guadalupe candle to drip hot wax on me while calling me his Catholic schoolgirl. More than 20 years ago, he served a 2-year mission and had a box of mementos from that time. He let me look through all his pictures and journals, and that's when I saw it, the name tag. Elder Christian Grey. I asked him if he would wear the name tag and try to convert me as if he was a missionary. And I was a woman who answered her door one day. He poured me a big glass of wine, and I learned a lot about Joseph Smith and the Church of Latter-day Saints. But I was hoping this was going to be another form of sacrilegious foreplay, and I was pretty unnerved to learn that he still believed it was the one true religion and would still be part of the church if he hadn't been excommunicated. Big yikes. Around this time, it became clear that he had a lot of traumas and demons that I didn't find hot. When he blew up his life and was excommunicated from the Mormon church in his 30s, he progressively lost access to his kids, which completely broke him. In his despair, he was depressed, angry, used a lot of substances, acted out sexually. And apparently his anger, he hurt a child and was convicted of a felony. So that was a lot to learn, and I was still processing that new information when he came to me with a request. He wanted me to dominate him in bed. He asked me over a week in advance because he wanted to adequately prepare himself, by which he meant his asshole. Also, because he had a meeting with his probation officer and wanted to wait until after the drug test so that he could properly enjoy this submissive night. I know. Red flags all over the place. Okay, I never had a desire to be a dominatrix of any sort. He asked me to plan this and surprised him with what I did to him. I didn't immediately have any ideas, but thank God for the internet, right? Oh boy, did I learn a lot. Do y'all know about figging? Sticking peeled ginger root up the submissive's bumhole as punishment for its burns, because it burns. Some of y'all out there really do need Jesus. Well, his super low lows and bouts of anger started to become pretty scary, and it really made me question whether it would be safe to tie this man up, whip him, and put things in his butt. The day came when I was supposed to dominate him, but he went really off the rails anger-wise, so we ended up breaking up instead. Like I said, I never previously had any interest in being a dominatrix, but then the possibility of pegging an excommunicated Mormon priest was dangled in front of me and ripped away so suddenly that now I feel like it's something I really deserve to do one day. I'll be sure to report back when it happens. Thank you.